Welcome to my replay viewers. And remember, you can also tap the screen as a replay viewer to give hearts. Glad you hopped on here. Hey, Bridget, I'm excited you hopped on here. All right, let me turn my phone around. Hey, guys. I hope y'all can hear me. I hope I didn't have the speaker covered up. I do that sometimes. So, anyways, we are on day 3 of the Diastasis Recti. Glad you hopped on here. Book. We're on chapter 3, and it's from Katie Bowman. She's a biomechanist. And this was a really fun chapter. So I don't know how many of you, hey Kathleen, are on here that have diastasis, or maybe you know somebody who has it. Just trying to get a feel for my viewers and what's going on with y'all. So if you don't have this book yet, you can click on the tab. And thanks for inviting followers, Bridget. That's great to get the word out to other mamas. I appreciate that. So we can okay, so I'm sorry, I get distracted when I talk to people. You can order this book by clicking the link in my profile on Periscope. It's under books. And that's where you could get it at. That's on my page. I finally created a page for Scope, fittabulousmoms.com/Scope. So that's going to be where a lot of the resources are at that I talk about on Periscope. So today is day 3. Hey, Christy, I'm glad that you hopped on here. Or Christ, no, it's Christ Loving Girl. Okay, glad you hopped on here. All right, so we are on chapter 3. This was a fun chapter because it's talking about pressures, and I really think it's going to drive home the point of what exactly diastasis is and how it's caused, and even the issues of hernias and pelvic organ prolapse. Because a lot of women who have diastasis have hernias because it's created by a lot of the same pressure, malalignment that's in our bodies. So thanks for the love, guys. I appreciate it. All right, are you ready? If you think of the abdomen, and if you have any questions while we're going through this, please feel free to ask me. I love to answer questions. And if I don't catch it, if I'm reading, you can just post it again. All right, so if you think of the abdomen as 2 hands representing your muscle wrapped around a balloon representing your guts, your insides, then you can see how squeezing your hands, tensing your muscles, increases the pressure inside the balloon. So again, we're going to be talking about pressure and forces today. You can increase the pressure within a cavity of your body, like your abdomen, by increasing the stuff within it, like adding intra-abdominal fat or a growing fetus, or by decreasing the size, the volume of the cavity through postural changes and muscular contractions. When you add mass or decrease volume, the pressure within a container goes up, which, when it comes to your abdomen, means your guts get displaced outward, backward, upward, downward, or diagonally, and start to push on or into places they shouldn't. So an intra-abdominal pressure can affect other pressures in the body. So just above your abdominal balloon sits a thoracic balloon. And I'm going to show you an image here in just a minute if you don't have the book and you're not following along. And below your abdominal balloon sits a pelvic balloon. So instead, sits a thoracic balloon, and below your abdominal balloon sits a pelvic balloon. So instead of the single balloon abdomen I mentioned, you can in fact imagine 3 stacked balloons representing your 3 pressure chambers. So here the pressure chambers are, if you can see that, the thoracic cavity, the abdominal cavity, and the pelvic cavity. And if you just kind of picture those as balloons right now, okay? Like balloons, the walls of our human pressure chambers are pliable. Muscles and connective tissues easily change lengths Excessive pressure in an area can lead to that area expanding to encroach on the space of the other chambers. So if you squeeze the abdominal balloon in the middle, part of it shoots upward. Yeah, I like the pictures too, Kathleen. That helps. So if you squeeze the abdominal balloon in the middle, part of it shoots upward and part shoots downward. Imagine how the pressure will change in the sandwiching balloon simply because of something you did to the center balloon. You have many pressures, altering habits, and I'll wager that you've been doing them so frequently that you no longer realize you're doing them. So this is a huge one that my clients don't like me to talk about. Do you suck your tummy in? Are you a tummy sucker? I know I thought this was correct posture with my chest out and sucking in my tummy. So that actually, have you ever wondered when you suck in where all that stuff in the front of your body is going? So it's actually going into your abdominal cavity, just like your cheeks end up inside your mouth when you make fish lips, kind of like this. So it's going in there. Only unlike your mouth, which is fairly spacious, your abdomen is it's full to the brim. So when you suck your stomach in, the inside goodies, the guts, are displaced based on the amount of goodies you're trying to hide. Usually your sucking it in displaces your guts upward, where they're now preventing the movement of your diaphragm. You do that long enough, you just might push them through the diaphragm and into your thoracic cavity, creating what's called a hiatal hernia. So I have to tell my clients who have diastasis to let their tummies go. There's other things you have to do as well, but let me to demonstrate something. So let's say you're breathing with your diaphragm right here, okay? If you're sucking your stomach in, if you're sucking it in, the diaphragm, when you're breathing in, it can't get down to do its job, okay? So you have to get into correct alignment in order to get that diaphragm to come down. And the diaphragm is the number one muscle to help align your body. And it's one of the most underused muscles as well. So that's a very important side note that I wanted to talk about today, so that you can use your diaphragm properly. And if you're out of alignment, it is harder to use. So now I got off. I don't know where I'm at. All right, now I know. So in fact, the mechanism for diastasis recti is the same mechanism for a hernia. At this point, I'll ask you to take stock of if you've had hernias, of your hernia history, because that way you can kind of see if it's a thoracic, if it's a hernia that's up here or down here, down in your groin. It kind of will help you if you can picture the balloons and which way those balloons are shoving up, down, sideways, inward, of maybe the incorrect pressure you have somewhere in your body, okay, even slouching, okay? So if a hiatal hernia were called your abdominal pressure just shoved your stomach into a cavity in which it does not belong, you might be more inclined to learn about the forces that created the movement in the first place. So there isn't a disease that moves your organs from one part of your body to another, but there is a way of using your body that can move your parts into places where they shouldn't be. Hi, Fabric Shop Jody, I'm glad you joined. So if you have a diastasis recti, a prolapse, or a hysteria of hernias, the location of your leak gives you data about the forces you create with regularity. Forces go hand in hand with movements we consider exercise, and movements that we don't consider at all. Hey, Mama of 3, I'm glad you joined. So even wearing belts, skinny jeans, and different things like that can actually create pressures on the outside of your body that pushes your guts and other parts of your body inward. So At the beginning of core restoration, I like to talk about alignment. That is how your body is organized when you move. So say you commute, let's say you commute an hour to work and you're resting on your console. That movement's not necessarily wrong, but it's just because you continue to stay in that movement over and over again, okay? So you have to learn how to get in the correct alignment. So to correct that, you would want to get your rib cage over your pelvic floor instead of thrusting it out or instead of slouching, okay? And I'm actually going to do some videos later that will demonstrate the moves and exactly how to do some of the things that she talks about in the book. She tells you how to do some stuff in the book, but I think videos really help. So I think I'm going to do a 5-day to a stronger core challenge that's going to actually have the videos to help you understand some of the movements, okay? So for right now, let's see, 2 hernias in the past. Never knew they were connected to this. Yes, Bridget, isn't that crazy? Most women don't know that. So I'm so glad you're on here and learning all this information. So there's evidence that women also, and this is another thing that I hear about a lot of my clients who have diastasis. They're going to have a higher degree of pain in the abdominal and pelvic region. It's hard not to breathe through the chest, and yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kathleen. Yes, it is. It's really hard. And a lot of women have to learn how to breathe with their diaphragm laying down first. So you don't have to fight against that gravity. And you start building up that muscle as you're laying down. And then you can move to the sitting position and some other positions. So sometimes we have to do it gradually, just like when we work out any kind of muscle in our body. The work you'll be doing for your diastasis is really just work you should be doing for the good of your entire body. That's what's so wonderful. Thanks for inviting followers, Kathleen. So the visceral fat that you're going to work on to reduce, the muscle mass you're going to work to establish, and the functional movement patterns you will develop help your body. And it's not only your diastasis recti. It's just the DR, your DR is just a symptom. It's a sign of poor mechanical nutrition. So so we're on chapter 3. So it's really been kind of laying the foundation of exactly what this is and why it's happened to your body. Because like I said yesterday, there's women who, that's why I talked about this, I was glad she talked about sucking in the stomach today, because you can see a lot of dancers end up having this because they suck their stomach in and squeeze their butts and tuck their butts under, and then they've already created this pressure and they get pregnant, and that pressure has nowhere else to go but out. So that is what happens. But I just want to thank you for hopping on here. Let me introduce myself real quick. I didn't. My name is Olivia Cagle, and I'm a prenatal, postnatal corrective exercise specialist. I'm also a diastasis restoration specialist. And you can find more information about the resources that I put in this scope by clicking on the link in my profile on Periscope, or you can go to fitabulousmoms.com/scope. I also have a 5-day diastasis challenge that you may love to take part in. It's free, and that actually helps you get into correct alignment and breathing, and how to even connect your 4 inner core muscles, which is so important. It's a cycle. So a lot of women, if you have diastasis or you've been pregnant, you've heard of doing Kegels, right? So that's an isolation muscle. fitabulousmoms.com. Thank you, Bridget. I appreciate it. So I'll explain this just real quick. A Kegel is just isolation, but there are 4 inner core muscles that have to learn to start working together. And those are the diaphragm, the transverse abdominal, the pelvic floor muscles, and the multifidus muscles of your spine. And that might seem a little confusing or daunting, but they have to learn how to work like gears together, because if one gear isn't working, they're not moving, right? So you have to learn how to connect those together in order for it to be like, it's kind of like a pumping cycle, Okay, so you'll learn how to do that in the 5-day diastasis challenge, and that actually helps relieve pressure as well. Okay, so anyways, thanks for inviting followers. Thanks for the love. I'm glad you hopped on here. I'm going to be on here every day doing this. I may scope tomorrow, but I know I won't Sunday for sure. And after this, look for my 5-day to a stronger core challenge, and it's going to have some new things. The 5-day diastasis challenge I think is a great thing for you to do, and then if you're going to do the 5 days to a stronger core, I'm going to have some additional information in that for you as well. So anyways, guys, you have a wonderful day. Okay, bye bye.